everybody, welcome to my A number Flosstube. I forgot to actually check what number we was on before I started, but I'm sure it'll have been in the title credits, it's fine. Yes, so welcome to my new Flosstube video. Oh gosh, you can tell I haven't done this for a while, I can't even get the words out. Okay, so this is my kind of end of January update. Obviously we're a couple of weeks into February now, are we? A week and a bit, maybe. I don't even know what day it is today. I know it's a Saturday. Is it the 10th? Maybe? Nah, whatever. So we're a few days in, but if you saw my little community post thing that I think I did right, someone commented on it, so I'm assuming I did it right. Yes, I wasn't very well at the start of February and the end of January. So I'll do a very quick 60-second health update first, and then we'll get into what I've been working on. So yes, so I'm Zoe. I forgot to mention that. Coco is literally asleep on my bed, so she may wander in at some point. Who knows? But yes, so I'm Zoe, and this is Coco Creates. But yes, quick health update. So I've had tonsillitis since about Christmas. So my voice has been a bit coming and going, and my glands have been up and a bit swollen, and then unfortunately towards the end of January, when I posted my little picture, so it was the weekend before last, I came down with some sort of bug, sort of sickness, double sickness if you would like, some sort of bug, so that knocked me out for about 48 hours. So I needed to get some fluids and some sort of electrolyte stuff back into me and then it was kind of building back on, because obviously I've not been able to keep any of my medication down, trying to get my medication back in me. So obviously I'm on various heart meds, sort of for my bones, my blood vessels, my organs. I'm on antibiotics at the minute. I've been on antibiotics for, it's in my 3rd month, for my kidneys and my bladder. So obviously because I had to take a break from them, I just had to increase my dose for a few days. And then as I was trying to get better from that, the infection in my tonsils, so my tonsillitis, had then spread down into my chest, and then it spread up into my ears. So at the minute I can't hear. So I will apologise if there's any crackling or bags or packets. I will try to be quiet, but I can't quite hear how much noise I'm making. Even to the fact that I'm hoping that I'm talking loud enough that you can hear me, because I can hear my own voice obviously inside, and it sounds like I'm yelling, like really shouting. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm obviously not actually yelling at you all, but still speaking loud enough. So fingers crossed, that'll be okay, and obviously then there won't be too much crackling. But yes, so what have I been working on this last month? So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm sure there's 5 projects, but I can only see 4 in front of me. There is 5. I don't know. Number 5. There we go. I knew it was somewhere. See? Ever organised as I am. Let's just start with we'll go from the smallest to the biggest. So I picked up this kit from, I believe, the Knit and Stitch show. So it's a Dimensions, sort of a little one, so Black Moon Cat, which I thought was quite cute. It looked quite quick to do as well. I thought, oh, that's quite sweet, we'll get that. Let me pull the pattern off of the page. And yeah, so I've got Agnes, an Agnes needle minder there. So it's a little skull with a gem for an eye. So I've done the cat, as you can see, and I started on the fence post, but that was all sort of blocky, sort of, it's just black. Maybe I should do that, but yeah, it's all just black. And then I started working on the surround of the moon and the moon itself, which is all in 10 stitch. So obviously Dimensions has the different stitches. So the cat is all full cross, and then the moon itself is tent, and the sort of the moon glow is all tent stitch as well, just with a varying number of strands. So yeah, so I managed to get quite a bit worked on that. Obviously, I mean, I don't mind as much working on black, but black on black for me is the same as white on white. You know, it's kind of, it's quite hard to see and to do, but you know, it's looking okay, as long as you don't look too close. But to be fair, if any of you come to my house and like get this close to my stitching to see my stitches, that will probably be the last time you come to my house. So but no, like I said, as you know, no one's gonna get that close, so we're all good. So yes, that is that one. So let me pop all that back in there. Then I had a new start. So this is, you know, I literally can't remember. I can't remember who it is. It is something embroidery, but I can't remember the designer. But it's a New Year stitch along, a year-long stitch along. Oh, let me scooch that off. So this is, you do one block a week, so it's all black work. So you've got, so this will be the border, so it goes all around, it's a big circle, and then you've got these hexagons inside, and I think that was week 1. This is week 2. Obviously you can see I didn't then stitch towards the end of January, so I've missed out weeks 3 and 4. But I will be catching up on those soon. So using all those different colours. And this thread pack is from Paint Box Threads, and it is their Wild Mountain Thyme. So yeah, Paint Box Threads, there's the logo. If it'll come up, nope. Anyway, but yes, Wild Mountain Thyme. And obviously I've got some of these braided up, but yeah, so these are all the colours that it uses. But yeah, these are just twisted together. I haven't, like, that they aren't variegated. These are all different colours, as you can see from the top. But yeah, so this is what I'm working on at the minute. So that's my kind of stitch along. So that was going to be sort of my Monday project. So on a Monday, the pattern's released sort of around lunchtime. So on a Monday afternoon, I was, my plan is to be working on that. So I've got a couple to catch up on. First, oh, that's a needle. Right, let's pop you back in there. And then I had another new start for New Year's Day. So I'm taking part in Teresa Little Stitch's Fancy Lady new start, which is called hashtag Teresa Made Me Do It, Sal. But the Fancy Lady I was hoping to work on is Maiden of Tubataha. However, the fabric I'd ordered hadn't come on time. So instead I picked up this pattern, which my sister got me as a Christmas present. And if I can actually find in amongst all of the pattern pieces. So yeah, this is a Bothy Threads, and it is called, it's part of the Menagerie collection. There's 2 pieces so far. So this is Illusion, and my sister has the other one, which is a Parrot. So this is a Chameleon. But I just loved all of those colours when I saw it. So yeah, so she got me this one. And so it's a printed background, and then obviously you do all the stitching on it. So, so yeah, and there was my little start just in the middle there. And there is another one of Agnes's. You'd remind us this was one of her Christmas collections, a dragon. So yeah, but yes, that was my little start just in the middle there. But yeah, so I'm doing it on the fabric that came with the kit, because obviously it's printed. fabric piece. And yes, so instead of having a fancy lady for the new year, I had a fancy chameleon. But that was my New Year's Day new start. Now, once the fabric comes for my Bella Filipinas made of tabataha, you know which one I'm talking about. Then I will be looking at starting that. So then my next piece I worked on. So I had started this last year. So this is Autumn Lane Stitchery's Dark Queen series. This is Dark Queen of the Earth. Obviously I did the Dark Queen of the Sea last year. And yeah, so oh look, there's another one of Agnes's needle. But yeah, so another dragon there with a little diamond. So this was one of her autumn collections. But yeah, so that's what I've got so far. So it's part 1 and part 2, I think. So obviously I think we're on part 6 now, so I'm a little way behind. I think what's come out is all of this background here. So I have a lot of catching up to do with this one. I mean, I would like to get caught up. I don't want this one lasting, you know, going over too far. Especially as, again, to match my other Dark Queen, I will be doing all the skin over one, which will obviously quadruple the amount of time that section takes. But, you know, we'll get there. So I think I still need to buy a couple more of the DMC colours. So this is the called for fabric from Under the Sea. And this is sort of, I think there was a green and a brown. This was obviously the green fabric. But yes, so I love the way it's sort of mottled. You've got sort of some dark patches, some light patches, which is quite nice. And then obviously I've got the specialty threads and the beads that came with it. So there's lots of sparkle in this one. I think there's three or four sparkly colours, so different treasure braids and lots of gems. What have we got? Oh yeah, so lots of gems in sort of yellow, you know, earthy tones, yellows, greens, browns. They all look quite fun. So when we get there, but yeah, so that was then obviously what I've been working on. I've sort of been alternating between that one and then this one these last couple of weeks. So this one is my Castle Walls by Ink Circles. Let me find the actual pattern page. Come on, there it is. So it's this piece. Oops. And I've sort of done this section, I've done the middle, and I'm just working on this last third now, but it's on my frame this way, so that's why it's a bit confusing, but yes. So, and this is where I am now. So like I said, so I think it goes this way, I believe. So I've done this section, done the middle, and yeah, so I'm just working down just on this one. So I've got 3 more blocks to go, and then 3 more of the little ones which go here and here. So yeah, so I'm hoping to have this one done by the end of this year. This was my New Year, New Start 2 years ago? Two and a bit years ago. So it'll have taken me, if I finish it this year, it'll have taken me 3 years. So I'm hoping to finish that one this year. So this one is on Cloud Grey, Sew It All Fabric Flare fabric. I meant to say that one down there. This one is on Nantucket, again from Fabric Flare that I buy from Sew It All. So yeah, ooh, bit of dust, lovely. So yes, and I finally remembered to bring this piece down. Now this is this is a piece of quilting fabric from Sparkly's. So it's not cross stitch fabric, as you can see. There's no holes on it. Are you going to focus? Focus. Ooh. Nope. Well, whatever. So yes, and I did that over two. So that's part of Jacob's Black Lives Matter pincushion. I do want to do the other side and then put that together. And then in this teeny corner is my little bird, which isn't going to focus, but it is a little bird, I promise. How many stitches across is it? It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. So it's about 25 by 25 stitches, just there. So yeah, as you can see, it's about the size of my, bit smaller than my finger now. But yeah, and this pattern was part of a little bookmark. So I am hoping to get that finished. It'll be probably about the size of my finger. But yeah, I am hoping to get that finished and cut out for this one. But yeah, so this worked out to 74 I think stitches per inch. Something like that. Anyway, so quite tiddly. And I'm using, this is the thread that I'm using. Nope. Yes, there it is. So it's quite fine, and it's a little teeny tiny beading needle. So the thread that I'm using was recommended by Kaylee Cross Stitch, who is also on Flosstube. If you haven't found her yet, why not? And it is Wonderfill Specialty Threads 100 weight cottonized polyester in Visifill. And I bought, this was the only pack I could find, but so yeah, perfect blends. So, and I think what colour was I doing? I don't even know what colour I was using. Oh, I was using the one that doesn't have the plastic on it anymore. But yeah, so I was using this kind of silvery colour. But yes, so I believe, if I remember rightly, how the threads are weighed is it's 100 weight. I can't remember what the actual weight is that they use, the standard, but basically this is it's sort of like, say, 100 meters per weight, so per gram. So obviously the bigger the number, so if it was 120 weight, then there would be 120 meters of thread per gram. So the bigger the number, the finer the thread. Because obviously if you want more meters of it in the same weight, it needs to be thinner. But yes, if ever you're looking and you see it done as a such and such weight or WT, that's the scale they use. But yes, so polyester isn't great to stitch with. It doesn't sort of bend like the cotton does, so it does like to stay straight. So it's a bit harder to stitch with, but you know, I suppose it's only as hard to stitch with as what stitching on 74 count fabric is. So, because, you know, that's what normal people do. But yeah, I'm going to do that. That's probably the only, that'll be the only two things I probably use this fabric for in terms of stitching. I will probably use the rest of it as backing fabric and finishing, because, you know, nobody got time for that. Like, I'm not doing anything else on that fabric. At least not over one, maybe over two or 3 or 4, but not over one. It's it took me several hours to do that bird, and as you see, I mean, that's what, a couple of 100 stitches tops. So yeah, several hours is I could do better stitching. So but yes, so that was all my projects that I worked on for cross stitch. I have a couple of knitting bits to show you really quickly. And then the rest of the stuff that I've got is shopping. Now I do want to preface this by saying there is quite a lot, but it is like 6 months worth of shopping. So I have, we did the knit and stitch show, so I've got some bits from there. I have some stuff from the retreat that I went to, the Essex Needles retreat day in January, and I think there's a couple of bits in there from the retreat day back in October as well. So yeah, so it may look like there's quite a bit, but it's over a long period of time. But yes, and like I said, I'll pop that at the end, because obviously if you're not interested in stuff that I bought, then that's fine. So yeah, I'll put that at the end. So what I'll do is I'll show you my knitting stuff, and then I'll talk about plans. Then I'll end with my shopping. Okay, so knitting bits. I've worked on, I finished 3 things. Well, almost finished 3 things this month. They need blocking and washing still. But this is the, oh my gosh, my brain. The Make Along, they have it every year. They have a channel, there's like 4 sisters, I think, and their mum, and they knit. And their channel is called, no, nothing. I got nothing. Okay, I will try and remember to put it in if I can. Obviously, it's got to be very little editing this, because I can't hear it if I'm watching it back, so I don't know what I've been saying. So, but anyway, so I worked on this. So this is a half moon shawl. Obviously, you can see it needs a lot of blocking to get the stitch in. And this was using Ruby and Rose's yarn. So I used 3 colours, and I used Fresh Cut Flowers was this one. My favourite things, I think, was this one. I can't remember. I don't think I have the tag for it still. I think I bought this one some years ago. But yeah, so it's done in 4-ply. There, it's her rose gold, and then plump rose base, I think. But yeah, so it's all done in half moon. So you've got the purple halves on that side, and it uses short rows. So then you've got the lighter halves that side, and then it just finishes off with the purple lace border, which when I block it will sort of come up in points. So it'll go like that. That's scalloped all the way around. But yes, so really liked working on this. It was quite nice doing the short rows. It was different. I've never done this many short rows sort of thing, this much shaping before with the short rows. So it was quite fun to see how the shape turned out. But yeah, and there's sort of got some lacy sections there. There's some Estonian buttons in here, garter stitch, twisted rib, and moss stitch there. I must admit, I do not like moss stitch, or seed stitch as it's sometimes called, because you're going, I like it as much as I like rib. It's going back from knitting purling, knitting purling, knitting purling. So that was that piece. And then this was Addison's, so Ruby and Rose's yarn. This was her advent calendar for 2022, and the accompanying shawl design that she did. So it's an asymmetrical design. So you start at this point, and then you get wider, and then obviously narrower again. And yeah, you sort of worked through all of the colours as you went. So I've definitely got some new favourite colours in here. I think, so where was we? This colour I really liked, with this, the purpley and the pink, and then the kind of browny gold. It's quite nice. These blues, I love this blue here. What else did we have? Sort of this reddy pink here. I love that one as well. And yeah, and then we sort of finished with an I-cord edge bound off there, and then we went back and then used different. So this was the day 25, so this was an optional extra, and this is a brioche stitch, again with the I-cord bind off that you sort of did. Sort of you came out there at an angle and then added that on and then went back into that angle there. But yeah, so I can't wait to get this blocked so that you can see all the designs, all the different stitches. So there's sort of garter ridges, there's twisted sections, there's again, there's some seed stitch, there's lace, there's this stitch here, which was really fun to do. Took me a few goes to get the hang of, but yeah, sort of in this section here, it was kind of a alternative brioche stitch. But yeah, I really liked the way that came out there. What else? Then we had some button stitches, some more lace work. What else? Oh, some cables, or sort of faux cables, bubbles. I don't like doing bubbles. But yeah, so lots of different sections. So yeah, so, and this was again with her 4-ply fingering weight, but you held the strands double, so it was double thickness, so it made it sort of more like a worsted Aran weight. And you used a 5mm needle. Now this is going to be a really big shawl, so I think there's no reason you couldn't do it only with one strand of fingering, and then it would be a more, you know, a smaller shrug. This one I think is going to be, once I get it blocked, we're going to look at about maybe 11-12 foot long, so it's a really big shawl. It's more of a schlanket, if you would. But yes, and then my last piece is inspired by Pam's Crafty Corner. Last year or the year before, she knitted the Angler cardigan from that Angela Lansbury wears in the Murder, She Wrote series. And I really loved that show, and I didn't know there was a pattern for it, so I obviously went and found said pattern. And yeah, so this was my first proper foray into colour work. So as you can see, it's not great. Some of the stitches need to be sort of fiddled around with a bit to get you know, to neaten it up, but I'll do that when I block it, and then I can sort of straighten the stripes out as I go. But yes, so really enjoyed that. There's one of the, as you can see, I've not woven any of the ends in yet. A lot of the ends still need doing. So this was one of the front panels. So with the fishy, and then a pocket. Well, the pocket's not actually sewn yet, but the pocket placket, and then it will have a zip front. So yeah, so really looking forward to getting that finished. However, I really hate weaving ends in, so I'm having to force myself to weave the ends in. I've woven all the ends in one sleeve so far, so that leaves me with another sleeve, 2 fronts, a back, and then I can wash it. I'll sew the pockets up, and then I can wash it and block it, because I'm going to wash each piece separate because it uses a chunky yarn. It uses, what I used was Life Chunky from Stylecraft. So this in their cream, their grey and their black. I think it was charcoal, eggshell maybe, whatever, cream, grey and black. Yeah, so it's quite chunky, so I thought if I knit it, all of it, so I knit it all together and then try and block it flat, it's going to take forever to dry because it's so thick. So if I block each piece individually and then sew it together, then that will be fine. So, oh, hello Raven. Raven's come in. We are, I say we, in the royal sense, I'm babysitting, I'm cat sitting for a friend. They're away for a few days, so I'm looking after their kitty cat. So yeah, so she's come down to say hello. No, you're not going to come over? No. She's obviously, she's never seen me do a video before, so she's wondering why I'm talking to myself. And she's probably like, it's a crazy lady over there. I'm just going to leave now. You off? Bye then. So, I just felt a bit of a coughing fit come on there, so I thought I'd better pause because I don't think you want to hear me coughing. So yeah. So yeah, that's everything I've been working on this month. So plans. Obviously, I want to be working on my Dark Queen of the Earth. I want to get that caught up. I'm not going to get it caught up this month. I mean, I've only got like 3 weeks left of the month, and I am 4 months behind. So I'm not going to get caught up. But let's see. I want to finish part 2 and part 3. So say finish part 2 and part 3, and then obviously next month I can kind of do 4 and 5, and then hopefully I'll catch up eventually. So yeah, I want to get at least part 2 and 3 finished this month. On that, I want to get caught up on my black work piece. So I'm probably going to keep that one upstairs by my bed, and then each evening do a little bit of the background on that, because I've still got obviously the ring around the edge to doing the flowers. They're all the little squares. Well, they're not squares, they're little hexagons. And then on Mondays, I'll set aside some time to work and actually finish the weekly square of that one. And then, yeah, if I have that one upstairs, and then try and put one strand in of the border each evening, and that'll be that one. And then hopefully I can get, hopefully I'll get round enough that by the end of the year I'll have finished all the border and everything. So at least that's the theory. Whether that works or not is another matter. And then I'm going to get back to my Whippopoly board. So I've got a few changes to make on there. So I have, I'm not reprinting out the whole thing because that's effort and a complete waste of paper. But I do have some little green paper, that's kind of the same colour as the little squares that have the project written on. So I'm going to cut that up to size and then write on some new projects. Because obviously I've had a couple of finishes this last year. I'm sure I've had a couple of finishes. But I've also got a couple of projects that I'm now no longer working on. So that I've given away, sort of UFO'd completely. So obviously I want to get rid of that square. And then I've got a couple of new starts to add on there. So yeah, my goal this month is to obviously get that all updated and get back onto it. So what I'll probably do is I'll roll through a Whippopoly and then do however many stitches that is, and then I'll roll again. So then in between each roll I'll work a bit on the Dark Queen and then work on her for a couple of days and then do another roll and sort of alternate that way. So I'm not just working on her every day, because I do find the more days in a row that I work on a project, the slower I seem to go and the less stitches I put in. So I thought if I keep it to sort of a couple of days working on it, do something else, and then a couple of days and then do something else, and sort of keep going and coming back, I'll get through it a lot quicker. But yes, so I have, as you probably noticed, I have my new gloves. I don't know if you'd seen these before, but I did have some that were sort of full fingers, but because of my Raynaud's, I was really struggling with the circulation in my fingers. So I've got this pair, these cut off here. Now these are kind of like compression gloves, but more for, there's no compression in here. It's not for this part of my hand, it's for the thumb. So it's sort of this section round here and sort of up to keep my thumb joint in place, because especially with my pincer grip, these joints dislocate a lot, and obviously that hurts. So, it causes lots of problems with that. I mean, they dislocate. The condition I have, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, means that most of my joints dislocate all the time, daily. So the fact that my thumbs dislocate is not new. Just the more often they do it, it causes damage to the joint, and then damaged joint becomes arthritic, and you get more damage, and then it just compounds it. So it's making it a lot harder to move. I already have end stage osteoarthritis in my knees, so that's why I use a wheelchair a lot of the time, is just because walking around is actually really painful, especially in the cold and the damp, which, you know, isn't great. But yeah, but I don't want to get that in my hands because I like stitching and knitting, which use these. So yes, so I have these, which are quite fun. Yeah, they've got little planets, little designs on. So they come down here, so they've got a zip to help get them on and off. But yes, so that is those. So if anyone was wondering what they were, now I think it's time for my shopping. So obviously don't want to stop for that. Thank you very much for watching up until this point, and I will see you hopefully at the end of February with a bit of an update. Something I might do a bit, go back to trying a little vlog again with my with Popperly. So we'll see how that goes. But yes, so shopping. Now this is in no particular order. It's basically in the order that I pick it up off of the pile on the floor. Okay, so but thought first of all, my Agnes, I got some new needle winders come through, so I thought I would open these. Now this was part of her winter collection that she did a couple of weeks ago, and I managed to get two pieces. But yes, so I got a little turtle with all sparkles on his shell, which I thought was really cute. And so that'd be my first turtle. And then I got another little dragon that's got some snowballs. You right, Josie? Raven. Good girl. So yeah, it's got some snowballs and snowflakes on this little dragon. But yeah, and a bit sort of opaly, like opalescent on the base. So yes, got some new Agnes ones there. I'm not going to manage to get it back in the little paper, am I? Haha. Nope. Oh, there we go. There we go. There's those ones. So now to find a project for those. Fishing punch. Look at that. Oh. Oh, try and pick that up without knocking everything over. Right, so here's some goodies that I got. So I got these from the Create and Craft fair that was in Peterborough. So I remember seeing somebody, oh, I've got hiccups, stitch one of these. This is the Little Friends collection. Oh, that one's okay, never mind. So I got the little chickadee, which was really cute, and then the little sparrow. He looks so cute. But I've just noticed this one was on Ada, so I might swap that out for a bit of even weave. So they're both on even weave there. But yeah, look how cute he is. Look at that little mouth, that little beak. But yeah, so I got those. The Dimensions stacked teacups. This piece looked really nice, all finished up, especially with that background. So I thought I would get that piece as well. Then I'm pretty sure I mentioned earlier at some point in the year that I was collecting these. So this is A Year in the Woods cottage garden samplings. So I do now have all of these. So they've all come. So, you know, we've got the ferret. Oh, the barn owl was quite nice. This barn owl. Little bat. I do like the reindeer. That was nice as well. Any others to show off? No, I'm pretty sure you've seen them all, haven't you? Got the woodpecker, an eagle, a bear. No, there we go, the bear. Yes, right. Jackrabbit. But yes. So now the recommended fabric was a 40 count. Picture This Plus. Now I couldn't get the Picture This Plus fabric, in. So when I was at one of the Essex Needles retreats, Coffee and Crafts fabric was there, and so I asked her to help me pick out some fabrics. Now these are all in their baggies, so I'm not going to get them out because that would be very noisy. But she helped me pick out a selection. So we had, so where are we? Let me put the 4 colours out. So we've got, was there 4 colours or 3? I think there was 3. I don't even know. What have we got? We had a beige, we had a green, oh, and then we had the other green, and then oaken. Right. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. There we go. So the colours that it needed was, so you do 3 months on each colour piece for that. And now we picked out some 28 count. I thought I'd do it over 1 on the 28 so that the size would work out the same. Not the same, the size would work out small. Because if I did it over 2 on the 28, each piece would be about 7 inches by 9 inches. And that's quite big for 12 pieces. So I thought if I do it over 1. So for the kind of springtime colours, we had, where are we? Nope. Okay, let me start from for the autumn colours, nope, the winter colours. I think we picked this kind of purpley colour, purpley blue. So that was my spring, no, winter. Then for autumn, we had sort of the beiges and the browns. So we picked that one to go with those. Then for the summer was quite green, so greeny blue, so we picked that one to go with that. And then for the spring, yeah, so the spring would leave this one, which was a bit darker, a bit more brown than the patterns, but we thought it went quite nice with, in terms of the other 4. We thought they all went quite nice together. So yes, spring, summer, autumn, winter. So I'm hoping to start that at some point this year. Would be nice. I also picked up a piece of 32 count like that as well. I can't remember if it was for a particular project. I'm sure if it was, it'll be written in my notebook what it was for. But yeah. Oh, let me pop those down. Right, that's better. Then, oh, sorry, I'm going to go again. All right, sorry, there we go. So, right, then at the Essex Needles retreat, so one of them, there was a couple of ladies, so we had a de-stash table. So there's a couple of ladies' stuff that I really liked and picked up, so, or purchased, you know, from them. So this is the Nimue, the Robin's Fairy, or the Feo Rouge George. I'm not French, as you can tell. That is more than likely pronounced wrong. I do apologise. But yes, the Robin's Fairy, which was that one there, which was really cute. So it's a little robin with, I think, a little cricket and a fairy on. So I picked that one up. And then another lady had this. Now I do have a Cross My Heart cat one, but I really liked this little kitten sniffing the leaves, so I thought, oh, I might have to stitch that to piece. Where is it? Oh, there's the other 2 patterns that are in there. That one's quite cute as well. But no, but that one reminded me of Coco when she was a little kitten, all fluffy. So I thought, yes, I have to have that piece. Then I purchased these two at somewhere. These are part of the Sally King Designs, her shoe collection by Bothy Threads. So I saw this one first. This is the Gossamer slipper. So this is a Halloweeny one with black cats and spiders' webs and autumn leaves. And I just thought, oh, they're so cute. Look at the little kitty. Look at that little kitty. So yeah, I really love that design there. And then I couldn't decide between that one and this one. This is along the riverbank. And I just really love that kingfisher there. So here we have, so there's a stork, we've got a kingfisher, we've got, is that a sparrow? Or some sort of bird, and then some water lilies and reeds, catkins, things. So, but yes, they're nice, and hopefully they won't take too long to stitch, because obviously a lot of it is empty space, in theory. Anyway, but yes, so and I think they've both got white Ada in the pack, but I will probably swap that out for a coloured piece that I have. I think this one would go nice on a pale green, so really light green, and then the kind of Halloweeny one I think might go nice on something sparkly, or but yeah, with sort of I have some fabric that's, I know the fabric's called Autumn Leaves, and it's got of oranges, greens, yellows, but it's kind of really sympathetically dyed, so that might work nice for that one. But yes, so, oh, whoops, right, then I've got another baggie. So at the recent retreat, Marnie's mixed bag was there, and I treated myself to my very first Q-snap. So I got, what I hope I got, oh, I'm sure the other piece is in there somewhere. I got the 11-inch and then the 14-inch extender bars, and then the 6-inch as well. Because I have some quite small pieces, like the chickadee, which might go nice on that. But also when I'm working, I do prefer to have just sort of the small strip rather than the whole piece. So I did have a go on my Castle Walls piece whilst I was at the retreat, and I put it on the 6x14, and that was sort of the perfect sort of size for what I was working on. So yes, so my first ever Q-snap. Yay! And then, what did I get? Oh yes, I thought I'd treat myself. So this was Hawkins Hobbies was there, and I purchased this piece, and this is Enchantress of the Abyss, Bella Filipina. Now this is the everything apart from the fabric. So it's the DMC threads, the beads, the specialty threads, and the pattern. And yeah, Enchantress of the Abyss. I just loved all of this that she was holding. It's sort of flowers, and it's got some beads in, which was nice. But yes, so, and I may already have some fabric for that, because for my maiden of Tubutaha piece, I couldn't decide between two pieces. One of them was kind of greeny and the other one was kind of blues, purples, pinks. So when I get the two, hoping in the March, they'll both be here by the next retreat in March that I'm going to. So I'm going to take them there and ask all the other people to help me choose. And obviously if we choose the green, if we choose the blue and purple piece, that'll leave a green piece that I could use for this. If not, I'll have to buy another green piece. So yeah. And then I saw this one. Now someone had finished this, it was on the finishes table. And I believe a couple of years ago, or last year, at one of, somewhere, a show or retreat, my mum bought one of her first Bellas, and it was the Lunar Mermaid. And we saw this piece and I thought, oh, that looks like the Lunar Mermaid, but like backwards, you know, it's like a mirror image and obviously different. So I asked one of the people from Hawkins Hobbies, and they said that it was Sol Tropica which is the sister to the Luna. So this is the sun, and obviously Luna's the moon. So I have bought this as a birthday present. So this is going to go into hiding until the summer, because this is going to be my mum's birthday present. And again, I got everything apart from the fabric. So I might get the fabric for her as well, but I'm not too sure. She is a bit more picky with the fabrics than I am, so I don't mind whether it's a linen or an even weave or an Ada or a 32 count or a 28. You know, I'm kind of like, whatever, just whichever one fits nice. Whereas Mum's a bit more picky on what sort of type of fabric she likes to stitch on. So it may be that I leave the fabric for her to get at some point. But I don't know. If I find something that would work really well for it, I'll get it. But yeah, so I've got that one again. That comes with the specialist flosses, the sparklies, and some beads in there somewhere. But yes, now I have to go and hide that somewhere where my mum won't find it. So, because obviously we do live in the same house, so we do tend to share some of our stash. So we'll just go and raid each other's boxes, like, oh, I need a DMC thread, and I'll just go raid Mum's stash to find it if I need a bit, and vice versa. She'll go and mine for some fabric or whatever. So I need to find somewhere to put that that's not in with my stash, because I don't want her to accidentally find it. So that is going to be a challenge. I'll have to think of somewhere she can't go. I'll probably put it on top of my wardrobe or something, because I don't know if any of you have seen my mum, or if you have, you've only ever seen her popping in, but she's about half a foot shorter than me. So she can't reach on top of my wardrobe, or on top of my bookcase, or on top of things. So I might have to hide it on top of the wardrobe for her, where I know that she can't reach, and she would have no reason to go looking. So that might work. But yes. Now, coffee and crafts fabric was there again. This was what I bought at the recent retreat, because of course I need more fabric for all of the new starts that I'm not starting. But yes, so I loved this sparkly piece. This is 28 count linen, and there is some kind of lilac in there, and that, but it is an opalescent, and I just fell in love with that piece there. Oh, I'll fold it later. Right. And then I haven't got a lot of darker pieces. So I saw this, and this is a lovely dark sort of brown. It's quite a warm brown, that piece. So that's a 32 linen. And then again, this is browns. This is a bit more brick coloured, so a little bit more of a reddy brown and autumny colour. Then I just fell in love with the mottling on this piece. So this is kind of like, it's got some greys, some beiges, kind of like coffee stained, but also some greys and browns, greys and beiges. So that is a 40 count piece. So yeah, not sure what I'll look on that, but I'm sure I'll find something. Then another 40 count, I got a nice green piece there. So all different greens. And then I saw this. So this was a 28 count, and I just loved the colour of this. The sort of, it reminded me a bit of sort of a mermaidy fabric under the sea. Yes, this was a 28. So I might use this for the Bella that I just showed you. Or, whoops, let's try and fold that piece. But yeah, so I might use that one for the Bella, the mermaid one that I just showed you. But yes, so there's that. And then, oh, last little bit. Let's see. Oh, I saw these. These were from Little House Needleworks. So again, this is from Marnie's mixed bag, and it was the ABCs set. So I got the spring ABCs, the summer, the autumn, and the winter. because I just thought they were really cute. I'm not entirely sure how I'll finish them. I'm not going to frame them, I don't think, because I think that'll be too narrow. But I might make 4 little bell pulls, which I think might be cute with those. So, and then I suppose now I do have the Winter Angel, or the Angel of Winter from Lavender and Lace. There we go. And this was the Angel of Autumn, which I really liked as well. So I might be doing that one. Oh, and then also from Hawkins, I do have the other Celtic Ladies. Finally managed to get spring. I am going to do complete conversions on these. So I know my Winter Lady, I'm going to do a hood. I've seen the conversions somewhere. But I'm also going to be doing a, for want of a better phrase, a race conversion. So I will be looking into some different four different cultures, and basically how they work in the seasons. So for spring, when I think of spring, I think of like the cherry blossom. Obviously that is quite famously an Eastern tradition. China, Japan, that's where a lot of the pink cherry blossom grows. So I'm going to be researching about that, and obviously I would be changing her colours of her cloak to be sort of the cherry blossom flowers, but also I'll be changing the skin colour. I'll be changing some of the effects on there, the you know, what she's holding, all of the things to be more relevant to that culture, and obviously to reflect what I've learned. The summer, I mean, I haven't really decided what I'm doing each of them, but spring was that. My Winter Lady, I know I have changed that. There is a lady that I made friends with via Instagram. And her culture is obviously what you would think about with winter. So I've gone away and I'm learning lots about sort of the place that she's from, her culture, how that's worked, and I'll be bringing that into the winter piece. And then I will do the same for autumn and summer, is I'll be looking at another indigenous, couple of indigenous cultures or non-European cultures. Cultures that are discriminated against or profited from, and I will be learning and researching about that, and then bringing some of that into my 4 ladies of the seasons. So obviously that's going to take some time to do a lot of work on that, a lot of research into obviously how that culture works, and obviously not appropriating that culture. So looking at learning why, you know, the why behind what the thing is, not just looking at it and saying, oh, that's pretty, I'll do that. Learning more about how that works. So that is for that one. Whoa, that was a bit deep. Okay, so, and then the last bit of goodies I've got is one of the ladies had a magazine that I took out this little pattern from. Of squirrels. So, because I really liked that squirrel there, but I will do something with all of them. So I have got that pattern from there. So yes, and there we go. And I believe that is everything. So yeah, so there we are, all done. And yeah, I think that's all I've got to share. Yeah, so that was my January update. So that was my start to the year. Looking forward to get back into videos now and more regular updates, doing my way properly, getting my projects out. I know there's so many projects that I've not even looked at for like 6 months, so really looking forward to picking some of those out. But yes, so, and I will see you in a few weeks, end of February, start of March, for my February update. And yes, so thank you very much for watching, if indeed you still are. Have a lovely month, and I love you lots. Bye bye.